Hello and welcome to another episode of the Confident Musician Show. It's great to have you here. You are tuning into 5 pro tips on how to stop comparing yourself to others. My name is Brett Cusack. I'm your host, and my artist name is Megalove, and I'm a musician, songwriting coach, music teacher, mindset coach, and life coach. And at the Confident Musician, we help musicians to overcome self-doubt and overwhelm and create more confidence than you ever thought possible so you can make music, make a difference, and share your unique talents with the world. Just so you know, as you go through this video, if you find anything unique or valuable or interesting, let me know in the comments, just so that I can make sure that what I'm doing here, creating these videos, is actually helping people. And then also, if you know somebody who's always comparing themselves to somebody, flick this across to them in a DM or share it with them flick across to them DM or tag them in this video. Alrighty, without further ado, let's jump into our 5 pro tips on how to stop comparing yourself to others. All right, tip number 1 is that life is a mirror and you can only ever feel your own power. So what we want to be able to learn how to do, comparing yourself is neither good or bad, but if you're getting some feedback where you're putting yourself in a pit or you're putting yourself on a pedestal, then we need to learn how to integrate. And generally, if you're probably watching this video, it's probably more like this. You've got somebody in a pedestal and yourself in a pit. So what we want to do is we want to learn how to integrate what you see in others is within you. So what this actually means is actually to stop and actually acknowledge that whatever you see in another person who is within you, and then actually list where, when, and how, and in what way do you actually display that trait. So for me, this has been incredibly important if I'm about to do an interview or if I'm about to speak with a client who might have more Spotify streams than me, or I'm about to work with somebody who's more, better at singing, or they've got more skills and accolades or whatever it might be. I go, who sees me have a successful business? Who sees me be a good singer? And I take stock of all the people that look up to me. And what this does is it helps me to feel my own power and acknowledge my unique version of that, which is incredibly important because then I'm comparing myself, but I'm also acknowledging that I have that to the same degree. But it's different because I'm a unique person and it's never going to be in the way that they display it. Let us know if you're watching online. Chuck us a g'day in the comments. And let us know where you're tuning in from, and if you're watching this back on the replay. Tip number 2 is to honor your unique values and priorities. So determine what is most important to you. So generally, once we do this process and actually help you to understand who you uniquely are, we actually go, that person has a different value system and they're doing action steps in relation to what's most important to them. And so that actually just helps you acknowledge that maybe your life is more important to you the way that it is, instead of trying to compare yourself to somebody else. So for instance, if you've got kids and a job and you are very dedicated to making sure that they have a safe and a physically safe and emotionally safe environment to grow up in, and your job is helping you provide for them, and you've kind of got music as something that you used to love and it was higher on your priority list when you're in your teens or 20s, you may be like a bit frustrated that your life isn't leading you in that direction. But the most important thing is to acknowledge what is actually most important to you, because that's where you're going to be able to stay disciplined and focused in those areas. So just learning to let go of what you're comparing yourself to and actually acknowledge that your value system and what you're actually doing in your life is actually most important to you. And your life, it's not what we wished it was, it's what it actually demonstrates. So tip 2 is acknowledge your values and priorities. Tip number 3 is acknowledging what you bring to the table. Because if we're comparing ourselves and we're putting ourselves in a pit and somebody on a pedestal, we want to increase our self-worth by listing the things that you've done in your life that have been of great value and service to either yourself or the people around you. And what this does is just helps you acknowledge that, wow, I actually have done some amazing things in your life. So for instance, learning how to sing, learning how to play a musical instrument. These things are incredibly difficult to do, and I've taught hundreds and hundreds of music lessons, and I know how hard it is and how often people are actually successful with it. What else do you bring to the table in all areas of your life? Because you've probably got some incredible successes in whatever it is that is actually most important to you. So just take stock of what is actually most important to you. And that will help you stop comparing yourself and beating yourself up about what's actually going on in the world and in your life. Tip number 4 is life is going to make you happy, but first it's going to make you strong. So life is always letting you know where you're at. And so you need to learn how to embrace the level that you're at and get to work. And for me, I was like, why don't I have all of these clients and comparing myself to all of these people in businesses? And then I was like, well, it's because I'm an original artist and I'm working on that. I've got a music teaching school and I've got a coaching and life coaching business. And I'm trying to create 3 businesses in 3 different industries. So I'm always comparing myself to all these different people in those different industries that are much further along. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to do 3 things instead of most people's 1 thing. So life is letting me know where I'm at. And these videos are me embracing that and getting to work and actually providing some really high quality stuff. So you guys can have some breakthrough with my free content. And then hopefully you might want to come along to either my songwriting and collaboration events, get some music lessons, get some help with the production on your original songs, get some mindset and life coaching in there as well. Tip number 5 with how to stop comparing yourself to others is to get a coach. Get somebody who knows what they're doing and can help you uncover some of these patterns or strategies or problems behind the problems that might be hiding beneath the surface that you aren't or might not be ready to look at yet. Sometimes what I do is not fun or easy, but it works. And so as long as we work the work, we're going to get some results. So if you are curious about maybe getting some support with what it is you're doing, you can check out my latest course, which is called Confidence and Happiness Secrets for Musicians. There's about $1,800 worth of content inside the course. There is how to avoid procrastination. There's how to master time management. There's how to write songs that stand out, and a whole bunch of other really cool bonuses as well. And you can get it on the link below this video for less than the cost of a packet of guitar strings. Alrighty, 5 pro tips. Let's recap what our 5 pro tips are today. So tip number 1, life is a mirror and you can only ever feel your own power. Learn how to integrate what you see in others as within you. So there are some tips in the Confidence and Happiness Secrets on how to learn how to do this. Tip number 2 is to honor your unique values and priorities and determine what is most important to you. Because if you're comparing yourself to somebody else who's got a completely different value system, which every single person does, they are a fingerprint and retina scan unique to you. So if you are comparing yourself to somebody, make sure you're identifying what's actually important to you and what your life is demonstrating so that you can let go of this fantasy that you're supposed to be any other way than what you actually are. Tip number 3 is to acknowledge what you bring to the table, increasing your self-worth by just acknowledging all the things that have brought value to your life that you've done, all the things that you've done in your life that you've brought value to other people so that you can drag yourself out of the pit and start operating at a frequency that is about I am of value and I've got things to offer the world. Tip number 4 is life will make you happy, but first it's going to make you strong. Life is always letting you know where you're at, so just embrace it and embrace the challenges that are on the way instead of in the way, and get to work. Tip number 5 is to get a coach or mentor to guide and inspire you along the journey to help speed up the process. You can always make more money, but you can never make more time. So if you are curious about getting some help and support along your journey, and you think maybe I might be the right person for you, and then you just need a little bit of a little more information or whatever it is, you can book a limited edition or limited time, or there are limited amounts of 15-minute Q&A questionnaires with me just to see whether we can figure out what is your challenges, where you would love to go, and whether we're going to be the right fit to work together. So there is a link below this video in the description that will let you know when I have those available. So book in now because there's only limited spaces available. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you did find anything unique, valuable, interesting, let us know in the comments. And if you know somebody who's comparing themselves to others, please tag them in this video or send it to them in a DM so they can benefit from the amazing content in this video, even if I don't say so myself. My name is Brett Cusack from The Confident Musician. I hope you've enjoyed this content. Have a great day, and until next time, make music, make a difference. Bye-bye.